This isn't a passing thing. This is the new real estate boom of the decade. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Straight to the Point. I'm your host, Tristan Guerrero, and today on this episode, we're going right in to what ADUs are all about. All right, so here we go. Most real estate agents don't understand ADUs. Not how to price it, not how to pitch it, not even how to help a buyer use it. I've been on an ADU job site, multiple of them. I stood next to the framing crew, the building crew. I've talked to the contractors. I've watched these units go from slab to roof, and I've seen the permit numbers, the rental comps, the construction costs, and all of that in person. And what I can tell you is this: the people who understand ADUs are building real wealth right now. People who don't are watching this opportunity pass them. So let me break this down for you. What is an ADU? ADU stands for an accessory dwelling unit. This is a second home on the same lot as your primary residence. Could be backyard build, can also be a converted garage, a basement apartment, a junior unit inside the main house. Here's why this matters right now. California's passed a series of laws over the last several years that made it dramatically easier to build ADUs. Lower fees, faster approvals, fewer restrictions on size and lot placement. ADU permits in California went up roughly about 1,200 per year in 2016 to over 23,000 in 2022. LA alone permitted more ADUs than most states built in total. San Diego, Sacramento, the Bay Area are all seeing the same surge as we see today. This isn't a passing thing. This is the new real estate boom of the decade. I'm telling you guys. Now, let me give you some objections I've heard. And I've heard almost every single one of them. Objection 1, it costs too much to build. Yes, construction costs are real. A detached ADU can run between $150,000 to $300,000 depending on the market, the size, the finishes. And this number makes people flinch, but they're running the wrong math. I could tell you a 600 square foot ADU in LA rents for about $2,000, $3,500 per month. If you run the math, that's roughly around $24,000 to $42,000 per year in gross rental income from land you already own to an ADU you already built. When you factor in that cash flow, the cost of construction looks completely different. Run the actual numbers before you make this decision based on the sticker shock. The ADU pays itself off in a year or two, even more after that. And that's all gross income. All right, objection 2. The tenants will be a nightmare. This one never makes sense to me. And honestly, I hate tenants myself, unless you choose the right ones. The same agent who recommends buying a rental property across town suddenly thinks managing a tenant 40 feet from the back door is too complicated. Honestly, it's pretty easy. Tenant management is the same regardless of where the property sits. Use a good lease. Hire a property manager if you want that distance. The proximity to the main house is not the problem. People make it the problem. All right, objection number 3. It will hurt my resale value. Oh my God. This one is the most frustrating because it's almost always wrong. Almost always. A permitted, well-built ADU always adds value. Buyers in today's market are sophisticated. They see the legal second unit and they see options. They can rent it out. They can offset their mortgage. They can house a family member. They can use it as an office. The flexibility is worth the real money on the open market. You guys got to understand. The agents saying ADUs hurt value are the ones who don't know how to price them or market them. This is the knowledge gap. It's not a problem with the asset. All right, this 4th objection, and hear me out. I've had this too myself. I don't have the money to even get started. Now, this objection stops most people because where do you get the money? Especially when you're looking at $200,000 to build and you don't even have $200,000 sitting in your bank account. This can kind of feel overwhelming and like a dead end. Most people building ADUs are not paying out of pocket. They're using equity they already have in their home that they own. Or they're using a strategy to utilize other people to invest into building ADUs. An option to get funding is a cash out refi, cash out refinance. This is a home equity line of credit. This could be a construction loan. These are real financing tools that homeowners use every day to fund ADU builds, even fix and flips. If you have owned your home for more than a few years, especially in California, you are likely to have significant equity if you're not using it. Some cities and counties have also launched ADU financial programs specifically designed for lower middle income homeowners. Los Angeles, San Jose, Sacramento have all piloted loan programs with below market interest rates to help owners get started. There are more options than most people realize. A HELOC lets you draw from your equity as you need instead of taking one lump sum. Lower closing costs is more flexible than a full refinance. Construction loan. This is a short-term loan built specifically for building. So once the ADU is done, you can convert that to a standard mortgage and refinance into that. There's even ADU-specific lenders out there in your local market that have created loan products designed for exactly this. They underwrite based on the projected value of the finished unit, not just what your home's worth today. So make sure to have those plans ready to be able to show your lender, hey, look, we're building this, it's gonna be valued at this. So they understand. There's even a program out there called the Cal FHA ADU Grant Program in California that's offered up to $40,000 to cover pre-development costs like permits, plans, and site prep. Most homeowners have never heard of this. There's even an option of a personal loan that works for smaller builds like garage conversions, where the total cost is lower and the numbers still make sense. You can even go the owner builder route that cuts 20-30% off your total build costs by hiring subcontractors directly instead of through a general contractor. Usually this takes a little bit more involvement and it lowers the capital you need to raise, but you are more involved in the project. Some ADU developers will build the unit at little to no upfront costs in exchange for a share of the rental income for a set period, while you keep the asset at the end. I say this is a little bit more risky because just really assess on if you really want to do that or not. In my opinion, more minds, more investment, more people, more cooks in the kitchen usually means a little bit more problems and more minds you got to deal with. So keep that in mind. And then you got the private lender. This is usually an individual with significant personal wealth who loans you the capital directly. And I'm not talking about Wells Fargo, not these banks. They are the bank. Because they have so much money, you can negotiate the terms 1v1 with these people, and they exist in almost every single market, and they're actively looking for solid deals to put together with their own money. So if your project makes sense to them on paper, a private lender can honestly move faster than any traditional funding option out there. They can honestly fund up fast as 5 days. Like for example, we're in escrow on one deal we're gonna close today, and we reached out to a private lender. Literally, he started working on the loan on a Wednesday. Now he's closing for us today on a Tuesday. So almost a week, 6 days. And they even worked the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So give him props to that. All right, I'm gonna say something that you guys are not gonna like, especially you real estate agents out there. And here's the honest truth about most real estate agents. They learn to sell what is already on the market. They pull comps on 3-bed, 2-bath homes because the MLS is full of them. They get comfortable with a process that works for them and is most common for every transaction. ADUs do not fit cleanly into that process. There are barely any comps right now for ADUs out there already fully built and sold. The income potential doesn't always show up on standard appraisals. Some agents do what people do when something does not fit their model. They default to skepticism and they just completely ignore it. I've watched agents price a home with a fully permitted ADU the same way they price a home without one. There's zero premiums, no income analysis, no conversation with the buyer about what the income could generate. And that's so frustrating, and that's such a failure. Just stop. All right, to you real estate agents out there, if you're selling a property with an ADU, especially with entitlement plans, or maybe it's built, your agent cannot explain the income story, or they cannot identify the right buyer pool, or maybe they cannot frame the value, you're losing money. You may not know exactly what and how much you're losing, but you're losing it. If you are a buyer and your agent does not understand ADUs, it will steer you towards the easy conventional listing almost every single time, 9 times out of 10. And they will walk past the best opportunities because they don't know how to see them through. All right, want me to talk opportunity? Let's talk opportunity. I want to be specific about what I've seen since I've actually started an ADU development myself. All right, I've been on active ADU construction sites and I've talked to the crews doing the work. I've seen the cost breakdown. A well-planned out ADU in a good market and executed properly produces returns that are hard to match in residential real estate right now. Meaning, if you go out there, invest in a property now with just full outright property, gas meter, electricity, all that honestly costs more than buying an ADU outright itself. As you guys may know, California is short millions of housing units. The traditional solutions of large apartment complexes, multifamily complexes, major housing developments, they often take a lot of time, sometimes even years, and they can also face some serious political resistance, which also make them slower, less turnover. ADUs, on the other hand, move a lot quicker. You are already using land that exists. You're connecting infrastructure that's already in place. You can permit and build these things in 6 to 12 months, and the state is actively pushing for more of them through legislation, reduced fees, and streamlined approvals. Even local jurisdictions are trying to prohibit the amount of ADUs being built, but the state is really pushing for them so that we can get more housing units. I'm telling you guys, the window is open right now. Now is your time to go. Regulations are so much in our favor right now, it's at record levels. And most of this market has not even caught up yet. So utilize this gap to your advantage. All right, here's what I want you to do, guys. If you own a home in California and you have a large garage, backyard, or any underutilized space, find out what an ADU would look like on your property. Get the real numbers. Don't let a half-informed opinion from an agent or a neighbor make that decision for you. If you are a real estate agent, get up to date on this, man. The agents who understand this asset class will be the ones clients trust with their biggest decisions. The ones who don't are gonna keep getting passed over for someone who does. I gotta say. If you're an investor, every single family property you look at should be evaluated for ADU potential. A property that can support an ADU is fundamentally different than one that cannot, and just price it accordingly. Most of the market doesn't understand ADUs yet, and that's the opportunity, so use it. If you guys thought this was useful, send it to someone, share it to someone who needs to hear this. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this episode of Straight to the Point. Again, I'm your host, Tristan Guerrero. I'm down here in sunny San Diego. It's gonna be 79 degrees, so catch me next time on the next episode coming out in a couple weeks, and let's get it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Choo!